You cannot take advice from some of the most successful entrepreneurs online that we both know because they are full of crap. And in the next 6 minutes, I'm gonna tell you exactly why. Now, over the last few years, I got to know quite a few online entrepreneurs that are running 7, 8, and even 9-figure businesses. Now, this might be surprising for you, but other than the businesses that they are running, they have no clue what they are talking about when it comes to other advice that we are giving out there. Now, what do I exactly mean by that? Now, let's take an example, a diet advice. Now, you probably heard about the carnivore diet, a meat-based diet solution that helps you to stabilize your mood, have your energy levels more in balance, and amongst other benefits that really seem that they are all making sense. And then you're looking at that at the surface level, immediate benefits. It seems like a healthy diet, but it all makes sense only if you are as dumb as the people that you are listening to. Now, I really don't mean to call you a dumb person, but that's true if you're following these guidelines. Now, let me explain and let me break it down a little bit. Now, I have been studying diet for about 7 years right after I finished high school. So I would say that I have a bit of understanding, and I have been studying diet ever since. So I really care about what I put in my body, how everything works, the biochemistry, biomechanics, so everything that goes into my body and everything that when it comes to what I'm doing, both diet and exercise. So here's what you have to understand. Even if you have just a little knowledge about diet and human health, there are a couple of things that you have to understand when it comes to having a healthy diet. Number one, a meat-based diet has literally zero. And in order for you to have a healthy microbiome and a healthy gut, you have to have a solid, stable amount of fiber on a daily basis. And there's no way around that. Number two, carnivore diet has literally almost zero vitamin C, E, magnesium, and potassium. And if you know anything about these different microelements, you know that they are vital for the functions in our body. And if our body lacks any one of them in substantial amounts, we can get into big health trouble. And if you are anything like me, you probably are a person of common sense, a person who understands that if you have a balanced diet, you probably would not need to supplement that with any kind of vitamin or mineral supplements, right? So if you eat a wholesome diet, you should get almost every single ingredient from your diet. Now, if you're following a diet, and that's why it's actually not sustainable, that's why you find these entrepreneurs to talk about all these benefits of having, let's say, following a carnivore diet, when they are not doing that long-term themselves. They're just doing it for 3-6 months. They're talking about monk mode, zoning in, and following these strict diet rules. And when they get out of the diet, they just go back to their usual routines, right, of eating anything under the sun. But how can there be a diet that is short-lived, you following it for 3 to 6 months because it's good, and then you quit because you can't? Now, if you're a common sense person, this doesn't make any sense. And I just gave you 2 big reasons why it is not sustainable, even at a more surface level. I'm not even going to the deeper science and studies that have been done on people in prisons following a carnivore diet for years and then dying and rotting inside, right? I'm not going to talk about that in this video, but I just want you to think about that and think about what can be a potential harmful things that are going to happen to your body and to your health over the next 5, 10, 15 years because of stupid decisions like this. Now, here's another example. Everybody is talking about protein, right? So many entrepreneurs online are talking about you have to have this amount of protein. Protein is good. You see it everywhere. Now, have you ever asked yourself, how much protein do you really need? Why do you need this amount of protein? Have you ever thought about that? Is there an amount that is too big or too much for your body? What happens if you eat too much protein? I'll give you an example, a quick story. That story is actually from, can't even remember what year that was, but I was 18 years old or 17 years old. And I was eating, if I remember correctly, about 1 kilogram of meat a day and about 15 eggs a day. That's about 2.2 pounds of meat. I think it was chicken for the most part, and about 15 eggs a day. And what I learned, I was doing that for, I can't even remember, 6, maybe 9 months. So I was taking it to a bit of extreme, but then I learned that my body is very responsive to these kind of foods. Now, what do I mean by responsive? I was feeling actually quite well, but what I realized, what I learned is all of the protein that I was eating, the excess, was my body was trying to get rid of through my skin, and I was feeling a weird smell in the gym, and I thought, who is that? Why do I feel that smell? And it actually was my own sweat that has changed because I increased, because my trainer told me the more protein is the better, right? And now you see those online entrepreneurs advocating for, okay, this is great, you have all these different sources of protein, and this is how much you get from this source or from the other source. Just think about that. Did you know that the more protein you eat, the more carcinogenic effects are being built in your body, the more carcinogenic effects you're experiencing, which increases your risk of cancer, right? You can read it up, look it up, right? Type in ChatGPT, whatever, and type in something like, if I eat 3 times the normal amount of protein per day, is there any study that shows an increased risk of cancer? Or let's say you can even type more specifically, increased risk of colon cancer, and you'll see the results. That the ChatGPT is going to lead you to different studies that are related to that. Now, what's the right amount? Research shows the optimal amount is about 0.6 grams per kilogram or 0.3 grams per pound of your body weight in terms of how much protein you have to have. Right? Now, I'm not going to dive deep here because this channel is not about that. Because this channel is about measuring all aspects of your life and really thinking about common sense things. The person I'm listening to, is that information valid? Does it actually make sense? Do you have enough knowledge to make the judgment of the information that you are being fed, right? So don't just go blindly into your favorite entrepreneur and say, oh, everything that he is saying I'm going to do. No, it might work for him or for her, whatever, right? But it's not good, right? And for example, for me, it's easier to judge diet-based things, and I'm seeing all these entrepreneurs doing monk modes and Zoan modes, whatever modes, on carnivore, keto, all these kind of diets, and they're not doing any good to their bodies, right? They're not showing their blood test results, right? Are they better? Are they good? They just feel good. Well, I can also feel good for a little while if I eat a bunch of steaks. Is that good for my body long term? Do I think about what's gonna happen in the next 24 months, or do I really care about what's gonna happen in the next 25 years, right? Now, if you're anything like me, you think more about, you want to live long, you want to live healthy, right? So you really have to be aware of the knowledge and the information that you are feeding yourself with and make decisions accordingly. So this video is not like the videos that I've done before, but I really want to put this message out there and to help you kind of like just stop, pause, think for a moment and think about things that make sense. Because in order for you to use that information, you have to have enough knowledge about the subject matter to take that information in and then apply it. Otherwise, you can really harm yourself with the information and lead yourself to the wrong direction. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video and see you in the next one.